honored to have Dr. Christy Liu, 刘先全教授博士. Okay, let me have an introduction of Dr. Liu. Dr. Xianquan Crystal Liu serves as a world language specialist at the Nebraska Department of Education. In this role, she leads initiatives such as the Nebraska Seal of Biliteracy, competency-based credit, Nebraska World Language Week, and a statewide professional learning for world language educators. She also serves on the executive board of NASFL, NILA, and CLTAE, and is a member of ActForce Lil Cohort 5. Her research and publication focuses on technology integration, teacher effectiveness, and building strong community connections to support language programs. Dr. Liu is passionate about equipping educators with strategies to elevate student success and highlight the value of world language education in fostering global competence. So we are very happy and honored to have Dr. Liu to talk about this making world language visible today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Liu. we have the same family name, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think previously this session is called Teaching as Advocacy, but we all know that when we are trying to advocate, it's a little bit too strong. So we renamed it as Making World Language Visible, which is very, very important right now. So how do we make world language visible? It's connecting classroom to communities. A lot of times, yeah, maybe we have all heard about certain programs lost their fundings or losing their fundings, or some world language program, like the enrollment of certain programs decreased, right? Or, we lose a lot of support. So how do we as world language teachers to navigate and to, actually protect our program in this, situation? So that's why I would like to invite all of you to have this discussion. I don't want to talk all by myself. Maybe we can, have conversations together. So objectives today is understanding education advocacy and define teaching as advocacy, identify elements of advocacy, and also list some of the strategies that we can use, reflect on our own teaching practice, and create action plan for advocacy. So, a lot of times when I first came to United States in 2011, I had no idea that, for world language teachers, like especially Chinese language teachers, we need to advocate for our own programs. It's like, really? It was really new to me. I don't know that, actually in one school or in the school district, Chinese, French, and Spanish, all the programs are actually competing for students. So if, Spanish teacher always get most students, and, in the school I was teaching, it's like, I'm actually competing with German because, if German has more students and Chinese has less students. So it's like, oh my goodness. It's kind of, we're fighting for students. So this also set a very unhealthy relationship among our relatives. I'm sorry, colleagues. So it took me a long time. It took me a long time to actually understand what advocacy means and how we should really advocate for our programs. So a lot of times we think, okay, we need to fight against, or we need to compete with German, French, and Spanish other programs. No, we don't. We need to advocate for what language as a whole. So it's not about one language is being one, programs in one language being cut or marginalized as all languages. So here I would like to invite all of you to think about advocacy. Advocacy is for education is actually a set of activities, initiatives undertaken to support students and teachers by influencing public policy, raising awareness, or providing direct support to underserved communities. So it seems like, oh, okay, as teachers, we are to be supported, but we are part of the advocacy as well. We need to stand up, we need to make ourselves visible. And also we need to help people in the community to see there is a value of having language programs in the community. So for what language advocacy is the effort in initiatives to promote and to support the teaching, learning, and usage of world language within educational system and the society. This include raising awareness, developing supportive policies, training teachers, engaging communities. Here, please, I would invite you all to think about why we want to engage communities, supporting underserved area, incorporating global goals, and measuring program success. A lot of times, we really put a lot of effort to make our language class interesting. And also we tried hard to help our students, but people outside of classroom or outside of your school don't know about it, right? Students are having fun and everybody is happy. All of a sudden, okay, it was announced we're going to cut the language program. Why? Because never, people outside in the community, administrators never heard about the success in your classroom. You know what I mean? We are doing good, but we are not making ourselves visible. We're not showing how students are successful, how students are engaged in our classroom. So that's why, as teachers, if we are doing great, we need to let people know we are doing great. Our students enjoy learning language. We should let people know that our students are learning the language and making progress. They're going to serve the community in a better way with their language as, additional language with their world language skills as a set benefit to the community. So let's think about when we want to talk about advocate for our programs or for what language programs, not only Chinese, not only Spanish or French or German, all language programs, we are a team. So when we are trying to understand the major elements of advocacy, we need to think about the audience, the message, and the delivery method. When we want to talk about advocacy, people need to, hey, come on, what language is important? Who are we talking to? We need to understand our audience, and we want to make our message relevant to them. And also we need to, think about how we're going to share our message and make it less offensive, make it acceptable, or even inviting. So let's think about who is our audience. Who do we want to share that? What language is important, will benefit the community? Okay, let's compare a little bit. Let's be very positive. Who are we? Most of us because we are world language teachers, we are world language educators, we are bilinguals or multilinguals, right? So who are our audience? A lot of times we don't have problems share the benefits, share why what language is important with people who are bilingual like us. So who are we focusing the working with? I mean, who should we share the message and try to try to bring the message to, convey our ideas to, is actually monolinguals. So that means they have only one language, and they might don't see both sides of it.
I organize you. Okay. All right.
Okay, so as bilinguals, multilinguals, we have a broader worldview because we see different cultures as well. And for our audience, they have strong local cultural and identity. So as monolinguals, as bilinguals, we have firsthand experience interacting with people from different culture. And also we have the knowledge how to, while we are interacting with those people from a different culture, we know how to, behave appropriately, how to adjust our, interaction, because people are from different culture. They have different cultural background. We are very aware of it. And for our audience, they might have limited or restricted experience interacting with people from other culture. And also, as bilingual and multilinguals, we are connected with diverse communities because we have the language so that we can communicate or interact with people from different groups, different cultural background, ethnic groups as well, ethnic background as well. But for our audience, a lot of times they have strong network within the community sharing the same language. It is hard. It is very difficult for them to actually really understand and using, because they don't have the language, to interact with people who do not speak the language. So we have to understand. Okay, so what message to convey? Let's think about, okay, we are bilinguals. We have these benefits, and we can do this and that and that. And think about our audience. Okay, are you boasting to me? You can do this and that, this, and you have this treasure, and there's no way I can learn a language, another language in like very short period of time. So this message of benefits of language learning, benefits of being bilingual is actually very offensive to monolinguals. You are saying you have this and there's no way I can get it. You have all the benefits because you have this treasure, and I have no access to the treasure, at least in a very short period of time. And it's hard for adults to make a decision to learn a second language when they are not convinced. So that's why a lot of times when we talk about benefits of being bilingual, oh, we have this benefit. We are actually starting making people angry with us. So why do we want to focus on that? Are you happy? Let's make it easier. Are you happy when, a very rich couple saying, we have this and this and this, see how big our house. Look at our house. It's big and it's beautiful. And we have this luxurious cars and you don't have it. How do you feel? We have to, understand, we have to put ourselves in their shoe. We're not happy when people are, showing off their beautiful house and villas, and things we don't have. The same way, monolinguals are not happy when we talk about all the benefits. So why should we focus on benefits of the individuals? No matter who we are monolinguals or bilinguals or whatever, we are in the same community and we are in the same society. So let's shift let's craft the message a little bit. Let's talk about benefits of being bilingual for the community, for the society, for business. And we also want to think about, make the message less offensive. Make it more inviting. Oh, actually, bilinguals can help us, can make our life even better, can help my business as well, right? So we want to think about how we want to introduce ourselves, how we want to talk about benefits of bilingualism, not for individual, but for the society. So what message to convey? So first, we have already talked about relate to the audience. We want to avoid confrontation. We want to craft a message and think about who we are talking to, right? When we are learning how to write in I think starting in elementary school or maybe middle school, we are thinking about, I still remember when I was in middle school, I was writing in a certain way. My teacher is not happy with. She actually helped me understand how important the audience is. Like, okay, Xianquan, that's my Chinese name. Do you think you want to read your story? I actually, because as then, I was really tired the day before. I wrote a very, very boring a boring essay. The teacher asked us to write some fiction, to talk about, some experience. I made up a very boring story. And so my teacher asked me, and okay, Xianquan, do you want to read your story? And I was shocked. Of course, I don't want to read it. I know how boring it is. You know what I mean? It's like, I just put this together just because it's an assignment that I need to, submit. And then I start to think about, okay, only, my teacher was forced to read my boring story. You know what I mean? If I want to be a good writer, I would think about who I want to make it attractive to my readers, interesting to my readers, so that they can read. They will want to read my story. The same way, if we want our message to be welcomed, to be, positively accepted, we have to craft our message to make it mutual beneficial. So maybe many of us know that I'm the world language specialist at Nebraska Department of Education. So what does that mean? World language specialist, a lot of people are asking, what does that mean? I actually don't. Their title actually does not tell people anything about what I do. Here's what I do. I work with K-12 and some teachers to provide professional development. So if there's a request come in, I will travel to their place, to their, we call service, education service unit, to provide professional development. And also I coordinate with high ed institutes. And also I lead world language standards revision, many things, and COBA literacy as well. So my job is actually state supervisor for world language education. So in my position, that means I need to work with different groups of people, teachers, administrators, and other, a lot different groups. So what I learned, I started my job in 2022. What I learned that worked really well, and people, to have more people buy in your ideas as mutual benefit. So people, if there's nothing related to them, if there's nothing beneficial, why are they even thinking about supporting us, right? So think about our audience and try to make our ideas inviting and also sounds mutual beneficial. So also when we'll talk about the audience, also we want to think about awareness of our audience. Are they ready to listen to our message, or are they against world language education? You know what I mean? I met a lot of teachers in and outside of Nebraska. One of the teachers shared with me is from Nebraska. She is actually a world language coordinator, previous world language coordinator. She shared with me. She went to Language Advocacy Day. She met with our senator, Nebraska senator, and the story was that, okay, the senator did not think learning another language is beneficial or is necessary at all. So his story is, his or her, I don't know is I was in German for a month. I speak only English and it's perfect. And I don't need to know German. They're all friendly to me and I have no problem communicating. You know what? He or she might miss a lot of information and that he or she is not aware of. Why people can't communicate with him or her? Because the other side, Germans are, a lot of Germans are bilingual or even multilinguals, right? It's not about you speaking English does not have any problem. It's their bilingualism, their bilingual skills helped out. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like in Chinese, we always talk about 盲人摸象, right? It's like a group of blind people try to figure out what an elephant was like. So each of them had grabbed part of the elephant, so they have different ideas. One even said, oh, the elephant is like a rope. Of course, he's grabbing the tail, right? Elephant is like a big fan. We know that he's grabbing that ear, right? We all know that. So for people who see only part of the elephant, maybe they are not ready for our message. So that's why we're talking about show, not tell. Okay, if you're not ready for the information, I want to share the benefits of the language programs. Let's do it. Let's show. Then we can demonstrate, we can show the community how helpful our students can be to the community. We can show how our students are engaged or having fun in our classroom, right? We can also showcase our students' success. Like in Nebraska, we always have like a news release after each round of, sealed by literacy application. I actually booked a news release each round to announce the seal recipient. So let's celebrate our students. Let's share the success of our student. I'm not saying, okay, bilingual is so important, but it's showing people that bilingual learning another language can help students to be successful and to be recognized. And for those audience who are ready, we can show and also tell the story and tell how we are trying and how our students will serve the community in a better way with their language skills. So when we want to share our message, we need to think about how do we connect to real life experience? How do we connect our content, what we learned, what we teach students, our curriculum to real life experience, and also the potential venues to make connections with the community and with who and where and how we can make such community can connect with those community and to build such certain collaborations, right? So that's why I introduced the idea of teaching as advocacy. Teaching is part of advocacy, right? Do you agree? Okay, before we go to the definition, I just want to ask you a question. Could you please in your chat, respond to my question? Okay, so here is my question. Have you ever experienced, it's like some students, you did a very good job. You had a very good lesson. Students are engaged and they are so happy. And so your students start to talk about what they have done in your classroom with students who did not take the language you were teaching. Do you have experience like that? Do you have experience like sometimes, you have students celebrating some kind of festival or made certain food or whatever, and students are so excited. They share the food and they take their craft to other class and other students start to asking about it. Please put 1 in the chat if you have such experience or similar experience. Please put 2 if you have never had such experience, please. Yeah, thank you. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We all have such experience, right? That means actually your teaching is advocacy. When you're teaching, all the fun students have in it, students are so happy, engaged, and they feel they are making progress. Their confidence has been boosted, so they can't keep the experience to themselves, so share it. That's advocacy. So your students can be your advocates, actually. So teaching as advocacy is a mindset where educators use teaching to build connections with the community and to integrate other content area, providing students with opportunities to apply the language skills and intercultural knowledge through authentic and meaningful interactions. This approach harnesses mutual benefits and shared experience to effectively promote the value of multilingualism, advancing the purpose of advocacy by enhancing communication, enriching cultural understanding, driving economic growth, and strengthening social cohesion within the community and the society. So we want to drag those people in. You know what I mean? We're doing fun things. We're trying to, a lot of times we're trying to show off what, a lot of times we just talk about benefits of being bilingual. What about we involve them in what we are doing? We create share experience so that they can actually, as an insider, they can become an insider to experience what we are doing and to have the fun, right? So there are strategies for us to do that. I have to say, all the teachers, every teacher has done some advocacy when they're in their teaching practice, but you might not be aware of it. These are a lot of my ideas are actually borrowed from my colleagues, my friends. They're so nice. Okay, I have to say, that what language teachers best the stealers, right? We steal things, ideas from each other, and we want to continue. Okay, so let's think about it. Building alliances. So collaborate with teachers from other content area, work with formal and informal education. So let's go through and we will talk about it because I have separate slides as well. Connecting classroom and a community. So we want to do different things so that we can connect our classroom to the community so that students also have the experience, using the language in the community, engaging target language communities as well. So they have their problems, so we can reach out and for mutual beneficial purpose. Strategies strategic use of social media. So we talk about, I actually used one example as like the news release in Nebraska, right? Okay, so building alliances. Collaborate with culinary class, as this is from Guan Lao Shi. I think she is in the, she's here as well. Borrowed the idea. Thank you so much. And collaboration with culinary class. So she worked with the teacher. So they have cooked together, they share food. And students, when the two class will bring together, they can do things together, right? For the Chinese class, they can share Chinese culture and Chinese way of cooking. For the culinary class, help with the cooking, So it's mutual beneficial. At the same time, a lot of times Guan Laoshi is so generous, right? So she always provide more food. So students can bring their food home and to other class, to their next class to share. So this is actually very good advocacy of show, not tell, right? Because when students are sharing food, everybody is happy. Food is always a good thing, right? Everybody likes food. And then they will ask, where did you get the food? We did this in Chinese class. We did this and this. And, culinary students can also say, we had a class with Chinese students. So we make this together. So this is actually a very good advertisement for Chinese program, right? And Guan Lao also shared, some students take the food home and the parents are so nice. They are so grateful. So they send food back, right? So that's how she started to have the idea of multicultural festival, and it's awesome. Now I remember she said she had fourth multicultural festival, and it's very successful. So collaboration, right? Also, another one is like, this is from me. I work with fine art specialists and the world language. So we created a unit plan, actually. If you click on this, this is a unit plan. Oh, no, this is a presentation. It has everything linked to it. Can you see my screen? Yes? Yes. We made this together. So this is how we want to integrate, fine art into world language. So it works for fine art teachers and world language teachers. This is like an example and ready to use lesson plan, not lesson plan, unit plan idea, not very detailed. If you go through it, actually you can find unit plan, okay, and how the details of how it will work out. Okay, this is like you can use this. If you haven't done it before, you can start your conversation. Use the resources I have provided to start the conversation with the fine art teachers. So you can have, bring the fine art students. This is drawing, painting and drawing. Okay, so we can have bring fine art students and world language students together. We can do we can have different focus, right? So while we are together, and for example, when we are trying to make a final project, this topic is a celebration. So at the end of the project is like fine art students are paired or grouped with world language students. So they're going to create their own festival. Create their own festival. So fine art students are doing the art part, and world language students are doing the culture and also language part. So I think it's going to be fun, at least. So this creates shared experience and demonstration. We can do a gallery walk in school. So it's our advocacy for both art program and also for Chinese, for like world language program. Okay, so connecting classroom and the community, leverage service learning. We can do a lot of service learning, right? So nursing home service learning. This is from Yu 老师, Yu Hangxin. So his program is actually very successful. Okay, so he had Chinese students. He, for every semester, I think he would bring those students to nursing home. Those are senior citizens of Chinese speaking senior citizens. So they need companionship. They are so lonely. Their kids were gone, or their kids were so busy they cannot take care of them. So they were live. They are living at a nursing home. So it's very lonely, senior citizens. So when Yu 老师 bring his students to do different activities to have projects with those senior citizens. So through doing that, the senior citizens are so happy because they want to interact with the younger generation. And also the students have the opportunity to actually use the language and supporting the elders as well. I remember they made like mooncakes together. They made lanterns together. They make, cars for the elders. A lot of things, a lot of projects. This actually cultivates a lifelong commitment to serve the community because his students were doing this year after year, semester after semester. When they graduated from middle school, go to like high school, they still come back to visit those people in the nursing home because they were taught those people need support, need help, need care. So this actually is, I have to say, when that's the first time I heard about it, I was really touched. A lot of times,
我都每天出来都不要用第三语。
A lot of times it's like our generation, Generation Z, right? They care about themselves as me, right? And this project, this service learning experience actually help them understand other people's needs and help them start to care about other people. How amazing is that, right? And when such things are happening in the community, we don't have to say this Chinese program is successful. People all see it, right? Because it changed those kids. Those kids are using their language and they are supporting the community, serve the community, right? Also, we have like another example is from Omaha Public Schools, I think. That's one a teacher shared with me. I'm so sorry, I forgot the name. She shared with me, she has the translation project with the museum. So students use their language knowledge and also they translate for, a lot of museums have like English only, right? But we have a large Spanish population in Nebraska. So they helped translate the language, translate the descriptions of everything into Spanish. And also when they are, on certain days, I think they have like, agreement with the museum. So students can actually be there to be the guide. So show people around and using their Spanish. Isn't that awesome? when students are doing that, do we really need to talk about being bilingual is great, it's beneficial? Bilingual students are serving the community. We don't even need to tell. Let's show, not tell. And people see it will bring the information, bring the news everywhere, right? Okay, the next one is engaging target language community. This is from one of the Chinese teacher as well. She is so brilliant. So I shared multiple times with my, if you heard this before, please be patient with me because there are still teachers who haven't heard about it. So I have a question. Have you made menus for your class? Ask your students to make menus before, yes or no? Anybody? Okay. I think so, right? A lot of us actually made menus and assigned students to make menus, right? Okay, so this teacher made menus as we did, but she actually make one extra effort, one more step. She took one extra step. She actually reached out to the local Chinese restaurant. And so they have a conversation. The Chinese restaurant want to update their menu and also their friends as well. They're helping each other out. Do you remember I said mutual beneficial? We always want to make our projects mutual beneficial. So, and the Chinese restaurant owner told the teacher, okay, I have this XYZ requirement. And if you can do this, and of course we will use the menu created by your students. So she actually bring those requirements and create a rubric for that. So the Chinese restaurant owner is really smart as well. If you really want to advocate for a restaurant, if you use newspaper, flyers, whatever, actually you can, sometimes there's a lot of money. But for this project, it's very interesting. The Chinese restaurant owner said, okay, I can provide $50 gift card for the first prize and $30 for the second prize, $30 for the second prize and $20 for the third prize. So you know what happened? Students are so engaged. They are so happy. They're working groups, and actually, the restaurant owner came over and picked the first prize and gave the, gift card. And he used the menu the students created. You know what? You don't need to advertise. You don't need to use newspaper or other things to advertise for the restaurant anymore because students are so excited. They're so proud of themselves because their menu got picked, right? So they tell their relatives, they tell their, friends, and, everybody the news just spread out. So a lot of people just come to the restaurant to see the menu. Chinese, this is a really great example for advocate for your program. The teacher didn't even talk about the benefits, right? So, but people, because of this project and people coming to see the menu and everything, that's conversations, the interactions going on, more and more people know the Chinese program. And more, the Chinese restaurant also get a lot more customers as well, right? A lot of times, advocacy is not like you have to make like 90, 100 more steps. It's a lot of times it's just think strategically. It may be just one extra step, and you will bring you will bring like very even unexpected results and effects. So the second one is actually from me, Chinese New Year Gala. So I have, this is like when I was a Chinese teacher at Omaha Central High School, I worked with Nebraska Chinese Cultural Association. So they have Chinese New Year Gala. So I bring my students to work as usher so they can show people around, to show people around and to lead them to the seat. So they have the opportunity to talk to Chinese people, right? And also serve at the event as well. So I also gave them a list of questions and scavenger hunt kind of thing. So they need to answer all the questions. They need to talk to they need to talk to at least three people, and find out the results of, answers for those questions. It worked out very well, so people actually see students are using the language serving the community, right? And also, the next day, I think a lot of teachers have done that. Actually, my one extra step made a difference. What's my extra step? I go to my principal the next day, early in the morning, and I try to grab him the first thing in the morning and told him, principal, I still remember it's very interesting. He's very supportive as well. And everybody loved him. It's like, can you do me a favor? I really, really need your help today. So I gave him an email. I sent him a short email, announce that those students, I had give him a list of students and also a short message. Liu 老师 want to thank all the students for excellent service in the community to support excellent service at the Chinese New Year Gala last night. And also, I talk about how grateful the organization is to those students. So my principal was really helpful. He actually added into the announcement. So the whole school knows what happened in Chinese class, and they have this fun experience, and also they had Chinese food, and they watched the show, they enjoyed the show. So they're so happy. Everybody's happy, and the whole school knows what's going on in Chinese class. My enrollment doubled the next year. Okay, that's if you want to know details and how to set it up, and reach out to me and I can help. Okay, and the strategic use of social media. So I talked about the news release already, and also this is an actually very interesting experience when I started this job, and we actually don't see a lot of world language posts, but so I was asking, can I have my world language account, so that a social media account, so that I can share updates? And they said, okay, you have to apply, and also if you have this account, you have to post 3 times each week. I was following the rules. So actually it's really helpful a lot of times when we see it's like, oh, math, science, and whatever. But in Nebraska, actually you can see I post on Facebook, Twitter, and now Twitter is X, okay. And now the account was taken away from me for some reason. In Instagram as well. I started with Facebook and X. So 3 posts each week. In this way, people actually see what language is alive. I try to share all the updates and celebrate students, like share the news release, guest speaker series. So no matter how much people care about what language, they know what language is alive, right? When they start to think about cutting programs, it's like, think about it. When the administrators talking about cutting funding, if they have never heard about what language, they would probably not even hesitate, right? If they heard of, even if they don't read about the news, what language is popping up constantly, maybe they will hesitate a little bit. Oh, actually, do we cut what language? they have a lot of things going on. It seems students are having fun. Do you know what I mean? We can strategically use social media to share what's happening in our classroom. Be careful, you need consent to post students, show students' face or student work. This is a reminder, but think about, you always talk about what you are doing in class and everybody know your students are successful. And they will hesitate when they talk about cutting funding. And also we have echo effect on social media in Nebraska as well. What does that mean? When I have the news release out, I mean, some of the teachers actually repost the news release and then repost again, parents repost again. That's like an echo effect in the local community. And that's why CLB literacy, when I started, it's like we have very limited applications. Now it's growing and growing. It's more and more popular because of the echo effect. People heard about it, they're curious about it, and now they are asking about it, and now more and more students are applying for it. And also, I would like to acknowledge student success as well. We have Nebraska World Language Week every February. So we have distinguished World Language Scholar Award, and also we have Student Language Spotlight. That's Distinguished World Language Scholar Award started by Stephanie Call. I mean, the people, the lady in the position before me, and I started Student Language Spotlight to recognize students. And once the awards, the results are decided, I will share and share and share, So we want to acknowledge students' success. We want to celebrate. We want to post it in social media so that people know what language is alive. So actually what I talk about today is actually my paper included in Central State, conference report is chapter 8 for 2025. Here is the link if you want to read more, or if you want some ideas or ask me specifically about the examples, please let me know, and you can send me email and we can talk about it. So here are our objectives. So my presentation is done, but I want to open up the conversation. Presentation is done. I think now is the time we can think about our teaching practice and we can create action plan together. Okay, please unmute if you have any questions. We can have a discussion, we can talk. Thank you. Any questions?
Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much for the talk today. I think it was very informative. So I was curious, you talked about some of the difficulties and challenges that world language teachers have, sometimes almost in like competing with each other for students. And in some cases, I understand that, teachers and world language departments are really competing with other departments in the school. So I'm curious about some challenges that you see in that way. So, for example, have you experienced or talked to teachers that are especially dealing with, like sports funding, definitely like coming and taking away funding from the language, or is there some misunderstanding about that on my part?
Yeah, sometimes, of course, they're taking away our funding for some other purposes, right? But my understanding is Okay, so if oops, let me stop recording.